is Jeanette, and I want to talk to you about people having lookalikes, sometimes knowing them, and sometimes not knowing them, which happens for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes adoption, sometimes people have affairs and don't tell the rest of the family they had children. But I want to tell you a little bit about some of my family, which actually is probably not blood related, but raised me. Now, a lot of them are what they called con artists, is what the cop called them. And I want you all to be aware of some of the things that they'll pull. Number one, if you let them on your property and you have animals, they teach them to do things to the animals so they can get bit, is what they pulled on my clone. Not only that, but if you have alcohol or do drugs and you fall asleep, for example, if you wake up the next day and it looks like you have a dead body in the house or laying beside of you, you need to make 100% for sure that it's dead. Don't just freak out and run, because some people have done that. These people go after rich people and people with power, judges, lawyers, and things like that. They try to tell them that they got messed up on alcohol, blacked out, and murdered, and sometimes raped. So you need to be extra careful about it, and I want you lawyers to not be sitting around and taking up for what they're doing, because it's wrong. It's real wrong. A lot of times they ask for out-of-court settlements, and a lot of times they'll get with your CPA, and you might not have any idea why you're missing $100,000 or more, but it would be because they sit there and convince the CPA that you've done something. A lot of times your parents, if they're in control of your money, is the same way. A lot of this money still goes to cocaine and heroin. And if you had watched the family, like some of the DEA had started doing, which they think that some of the family is dead when they're really not. If you had watched this, you would understand how much money they might need per month, and trips to Paris and Europe and things like this in order to be able to see the world. A lot of times now because everybody started watching them going in the stores buying bulk, a lot of these things now are hauled in through UPS and things like that. They also have a lot of power in the 18-wheelers, where they can order a whole tractor trailer full in order to accommodate them and their gang. But I want you to be aware of this con artist game about them thinking that they can always get by with tricking you into thinking you've murdered. And the other thing is the ID sometimes is stolen off of dead people. And a couple of you guys out there that we found that have been selling ID for a long time, I want to remind you again that some of those people was murdered, and when you resell the ID, it makes it more like you're guilty, you look guilty, whether you knew they were dead for real or whether they were murdered. By the way, Carrie Sue was cloned to the point that she's not only blue-eyed, but she's brown-eyed as well.